At your citizenship interview, one wrong no can get you denied, not because you lied, but because of a hidden trap in your N400 that more honest applicants are falling into in 2026 than almost any other section of the form. And it's not what you think. It sounds simple, but it's a hidden trap. Answering this one section incorrectly can put your entire immigration history under a microscope. It can lead to serious complications, requests for more evidence, and, in the worst cases, a denial for misrepresentation. Most people are completely unprepared for it. They believe an honest mistake is harmless, but to an officer, it can look like you're hiding something. So here's my promise to you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal that dangerous line of questioning, explain exactly why USCIS officers are focusing on it so intensely right now, and give you the exact method you need to prepare, prove your case, and walk out of that interview with your approval. Watch till the end because the exact prep method that protects you is the part most people skip. Let's get into it. Welcome to U.S. Immigration Now, your trusted source for the latest updates and expert guidance on U.S. immigration. If you are new here, subscribe now so you never miss a critical update. Section 1. The interview is a credibility test. Start right here, because the first thing you must understand is this. The citizenship interview is not a quiz. The officer is not just checking boxes. The entire interview is a test of your credibility. When you sit in that chair and swear an oath to tell the truth, the officer's main job is to determine if the person sitting in front of them is the same person described in all the paperwork. They are validating your entire story, and they have the ultimate tool to do it, your alien file, or A file. On the officer's computer screen is a vast digital record of your immigration journey, your original visa application from years ago, your green card application, any travel documents, previous N400s you might have filed. Officers are trained to look for one thing above all else: a perfectly consistent narrative across your entire immigration journey. Think about a hypothetical applicant we'll call Maria. Maria came to the U.S. as a student, then got a work visa, and finally a green card. At her citizenship interview, the officer asks about her past addresses. Maria confidently lists the 3 addresses from her N400. The officer pauses, looks at their screen, and says, "On your I-485 application from 7 years ago, you listed a 4th address. Why isn't that on your N400? Maria had completely forgotten about the 6 months she sublet an apartment. It was a genuine mistake. But in that single moment, the entire tone of the interview shifts. It's no longer a simple review. Now, it's an interrogation about a discrepancy. The officer has to stop and figure out if this was a simple oversight or if Maria was intentionally hiding something. This tiny crack in her credibility can trigger a deep dive into her file. Massive delays while she scrambles to find evidence to explain it. That is the danger. And that's just a simple address mistake. The real trap, the one question that can lead to a misrepresentation finding even if you're being honest, is coming up. Most people answer it completely wrong. First, one quick thing I have to say. This video is for informational purposes only and not legal advice. Always consult a qualified immigration attorney for your individual situation. Section 2. The most dangerous question category. Checking no to one simple question in Part 12 of your N400 can be the most dangerous mistake you make. It's not one question, but a series of them. The section titled, Additional Information About You. Specifically, the questions about your past associations and memberships. The question is, have you ever been a member of, or in any way associated with, any organization, association, fund, foundation, party, club, or similar group in the United States or in any other location in the world? This is followed by more pointed questions about advocating for overthrowing a government or being associated with a totalitarian party or terrorist group. And here is the trap. Most applicants see the words overthrow, totalitarian, or terrorist, and without a second thought say, no. They're a good person. They've never done those things. So no feels like the obvious, honest answer. But this is where it gets dangerous. The problem is not your intent. It's the government's broad interpretation of the words member and associated. Let's say 15 years ago in your home country, you joined a university student group that protested the government. You paid a small fee and went to a few meetings. To you, it was just a student club. But what if that group, years after you left, was designated by the U.S. government as an organization of concern? If you answer no to that general membership question, and the officer finds a record of it, maybe from your original visa application where you listed it as an activity. Your no is now a false statement. It might not have been a willful lie, but it's an inconsistency. And that can open the door for the officer to question your truthfulness on everything else. If they believe you knowingly misrepresented a material fact to get an immigration benefit, it can lead to a finding of material misrepresentation, one of the most serious obstacles to ever becoming a U.S. citizen. Section 3. The real test. Consistency across your history. And here's where the danger of that association question gets magnified. USCIS actively compares your N400 answers against your entire immigration record. They are hunting for inconsistencies. USCIS is comparing your N400 application for naturalization, your I-485 application for a green card, your DS-160 or DS-260 visa applications, and all previous immigration filings. When you filled out your green card application, Form I-485, you answered a similar set of questions. When you applied for your first visa at a U.S. embassy, you filled out a form that also asked about these things. The officer's job is to place your N400 answers side by side with those previous forms and see if the story adds up. Let me say that again because it's the whole ballgame. The people getting into serious trouble are often not lying. They are simply unprepared. They fill out the N400 from memory, completely forgetting what they wrote on an application 5, 10, or even 20 years ago. Let's go back to our example. Imagine on your original student visa application, you proudly listed you were a member of that student political group because you saw it as a leadership activity. Now, 15 years later, it doesn't even cross your mind, and you check no on your N400. To the USCIS officer, that is a major red flag. They see a yes on one form and a no on another. This doesn't mean your case is automatically denied, but it absolutely means the officer will stop the interview and start asking hard questions. They will want to know why your answer changed. Were you lying then? Or are you lying now? The number one rule of the citizenship interview is that your history must be consistent. Here's the part that decides most cases. Everything we've covered so far has been about inconsistencies in your story. But what comes next is your proof. It's the one step where the most honest applicants quietly lose their case, and it's the difference between a denial and an approval. We're one step away from it. Section 4. The solution. Your 3-step preparation method. So how do you avoid this trap? The solution is not a magic phrase. The solution is preparation. You have to become the #1 expert on your own case. Here is the 3-step method to do it right. Step 1. Gather and review every immigration document you can. Before your interview, you need copies of every immigration application you've ever filed. Your I-485, original visa forms, I-765s, everything. If you don't have them, you can file a Freedom of Information Act request, a FOIA, with USCIS to get a copy of your A-file. It takes months, so do this far in advance. And remember, a USCIS FOIA may not contain records from other agencies like the State Department, but it's the most critical place to start. Step 2. Create a master timeline. Get a notebook or a spreadsheet. Create a single timeline of your life since you first had any interaction with the U.S. immigration system. List every address, every employer, every trip abroad, your marital history, and most importantly, every single organization you have ever been associated with. Compare this master list with the documents you just gathered. Your goal is to spot the inconsistencies before the officer does. Step 3. Prepare explanations for every discrepancy. For every inconsistency you find, prepare a short, truthful, and direct explanation. Don't invent a story. Simple honesty is the only way. If you find a mistake on your N400 after you filed it, do not panic. The interview is your chance to fix it. You can say to the officer, "Officer, while reviewing my records to prepare for this interview, I realized I made a mistake on my application. I forgot to list an address where I lived for a few months in 2018. I would like to correct that now to ensure my record is accurate." This approach doesn't show dishonesty. It shows diligence and credibility. It proves you respect the process. Section 5. How to answer the association question truthfully. Now let's address the big one. The only safe and correct way to answer the organization membership question is the truthful way. Honesty wins. Rehearsed perfection loses. Your job is not to guess what the officer wants to hear. If, after your deep review, you are 100% certain you've never been part of any group, then your answer is no. But if you have any doubt, or you remember something like that student group, you must answer yes to the initial question. When the officer asks for details, this is your chance to control the narrative. Provide a pre-written statement and explain it verbally. That answer is powerful. It is detailed, truthful, and it directly addresses the officer's real concerns. You are demonstrating that you have nothing to hide. That is infinitely better than an incorrect no that gets discovered by the officer during your interview. Key takeaways. 3 things to remember. All right, let's quickly recap. First, your citizenship interview is a test of your credibility. The officer is verifying your entire life story. Second, consistency is everything. Your N400 answers must align with all your previous immigration filings. Any discrepancy is a red flag. And third, prepare by following the 3-step method. Gather your documents, create a master timeline to find inconsistencies, and prepare truthful explanations for them. The citizenship interview is the final step in a very long journey. The key to success is not luck. It is preparation. When you take the time to become the expert on your own history, you take control of your narrative. You transform yourself from a nervous applicant into a credible, well-prepared candidate. Your honesty and your diligence are your greatest assets. When you can answer every question with confidence because you have done the work, you prove to the officer that you have the good moral character required to be a citizen of this country. If this guide helped you, share it with someone whose citizenship interview is near. It could be the calm they needed today. And listen, you are not alone in this. Tell me in the comments, when is your interview, and which question worries you most? What form are you on? N400? Still waiting on the I-485 behind it? How long have you been pending? 6 months? 3 years? I read every one, and they shape what I cover next. No rumors, no jargon, just the truth about your case. New videos Wednesday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Stay informed, stay prepared.